What's up, guys? That Really Gross Guy here. We are back, and I wanted to quickly talk today a little bit more in depth about the crossplay feature that's coming our way. I've had a couple days to think about it, and I have a little bit of questions that I've kind of been batting around back and forth in my head, and there's some things that I kind of contemplated over or thought of, and I wanted to discuss just a little bit of that here today. Not a whole lot of information, not like any new stuff, tiny bit of speculation in here, but I am definitely curious of what your guys' thoughts are. I know many people are just incredibly excited for crossplay, and I think we should be. It's definitely a good thing. But here are going to be some good things, and I guess one maybe downside or complication at least that we may run into because of crossplay. So anyways, first and foremost, cross-play and cross-save, I mentioned before, I think is going to be nothing but beneficial. The idea that we are able to not only play with friends on the other consoles, but the ability to have our saved, all of our stuff saved, being able to pick up and go and maybe play on another console and have all of our stuff there ready to go is fantastic. The idea that I could be playing on my PC, doing all my stuff, getting ready, maybe a friend calls up and they're like, hey, we want to hang out tonight, bring over a console, we'll hang out, play some games. I could pack up a PlayStation, I could take a Switch, grab a Switch, throw it in my bag, go over to a friend's house, pull out my Switch, have all of my stuff ready to go, and then at the same time showing up at their house, knowing they have an Xbox or a PlayStation or whatever, then being able to still side by side play on my Switch together in a game with someone on another console is very exciting. It's just great. It's hard to beat that capability, and it's kind of the future of gaming. So I'm really excited about that. The ability to have all of your stuff, no matter what console you open up and play on, I think is going to be great. So on top of that, of course, the idea that crossplay is going to do nothing but drive more players to the game. It's going to financially be beneficial for Digital Extremes. I mentioned this in the review of TennoCon, but the idea that more staff are likely going to be hired for Digital Extremes. The studio is going to get larger. There's going to be, and I use this word specifically because there's going to be more talent in the studio. There's going to be people who might have a different perspective, might have some different creative ideas that currently are not within the studio. Is going to be a big deal. So the fact that we might have 2 or 3 deluxe skins that are in the works, and they have these really cool ideas. We've seen, like the Excalibur Zato, the new Protea design deluxe that's coming out. There's some really incredible new deluxe skins coming out. We're from kind of new inspired ideas, maybe from new developers altogether, and the idea that we might have more creative ideas coming into the studio not only will allow us to maybe have, instead of 3, but maybe 4 or 5 deluxe skins working and being actively worked on at the same time, but have new, completely different aesthetics for some of our content, would be incredible. And I'm not just talking about the cosmetic junk, like the idea that story-based quests and maybe writers or lore crafters or level designers being able to come into the studio, maybe brand new fresh talent out of college, and hopefully even from some experienced creators, developers from maybe some studios that have wrapped up their projects. Maybe they acquire somebody from, I hate to say a specific developer or studio name, but you have all these incredible aesthetics and games that have some incredible, character designers, level designers, and stuff like that, to then get hired on with Digital Extremes, it would be incredible. I remember a few years ago there was a studio that shut down. I can't remember the name of it, but even Digital Extremes reached out and said, "Hey, we're sorry for your loss. We really hope the best for you. Keep in mind that there are a lot of studios out there that are working on major products that are looking for help, and Digital Extreme said that we are also one of them. So if you are, if you have interest in working with Digital Extremes, we have applications, submit your resume, stuff like that. So you never know who might work their way into the studio for Digital Extremes. That would be incredible. So maybe the content will come out a little bit faster with more hands on deck and more, inspiration. Maybe a whole entire story quest gets developed by somebody new, or at least they have their input, which could maybe revolutionize some of the current lore we have, or some of the old quests we have, or just take part of the lore in a new direction that nobody thought of, but it was just incredible. Especially with New War, we'll pretty much talk about in another video coming up, but just the idea of getting the perspective in terms of story from other characters, like this new, what is it, Khan? I don't know, the Grenier soldier and the Corpus soldier and Teshin, getting their perspective and playing as them, those types of ideas, creative, revolutionary stuff for the game. You never know. It could come from someone who's never worked with Warframe before. But yeah, I think that's very exciting. The possibilities of just having a much larger bank account, could potentially push this game in the future. So crossplay, amazing, great idea. Having it on a cell phone, while this is one thing we're going to talk about in terms of maybe the downside, but the upside of having your game on a cell phone is a lot of that housekeeping stuff. Being able to go to your forge and pick up, some things you need, making some formas or some Orkin catalysts or whatever reactors. Gearing up for some of the stuff you need, and you just have to let the forge do its thing for a little while. Maybe running a mission or two, maybe you need a quick argon or something like that for something you need to build. You could jump in and do that, preferably on a Switch over a cell phone, I think, personally, or a Steam Deck, because that's coming at some point next year sometime, but that would be cool. Yeah, that's one of the good things about the crossplay. What I am concerned about is, let's say you're jumping in, you're hunting for the brand new new Prime Warframe parts or something like that. You jump in, you got your relics, you jump in recruitment, you're like, yo, anyone got a Axie A2 whatever, I need this thing, and then you got people partying up, being like, yeah, y'all come join me, I got that relic, I got this, I got that. You jump in, and lo and behold, who knows, there'll probably be some sort of system in place. I hate to exclude people, but ultimately there are advantages and disadvantages of playing with certain consoles. And there are definitely people who can do it, from a PC to a PlayStation or Xbox controller. There are definitely people who can do it. There are going to be some advantages and disadvantages depending on the player itself, but you can't really deny playing with someone on a cell phone and to some degree the Switch, just based on the ergonomics and the controller and the amount of the buttons and stuff like that. The lack of buttons, I do believe, is the Switch missing 2 shoulder buttons? And when I say missing, you know what I mean. But just the idea that there may be some hate going around if there's not a system in place for keeping those who are capable and willing to quickly run missions separate. And I say this because for a fact there are going to be people out there, and I'm not necessarily blaming anybody, because we all have lives. Sometimes, you know, you got a full-time job, you go home and you have an hour or two to play, and you're really trying to get this new thing. If you jump into a mission, say a survival, you know, relic hunt, something like that, you're gonna run 20 minutes or so. You jump in the game, you're raring to go, but lo and behold, you have somebody in the party who just can't stay alive. Staying, you know, trailing behind and being a little slow is one thing, but if you're not comfortable enough with the console you're playing on and you can't stay alive, is going to be a struggle for the other players. And I wouldn't be surprised if there is not a system in place, that there's going to be some hate in the community. And that's unfortunate, but it's reality of things. And this isn't really for me for the most part. I do a lot of my stuff solo. I kind of like actively having the difficulty and strain of you know, of playing solo, or having the cards stacked against me a little bit. So I kind of like, you know, this doesn't relate to me too much, but I do definitely join other people, especially if I'm, you know, just trying to hang out, have fun, play the game. You know, I'll jump into parties here or there, but yeah, I'm worried over the idea that we may get lumped in with, I don't want to say people who are not capable of being good at the game, but people who are at a disadvantage because of the console maybe they're playing on. I don't know. My concerns. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What are your thoughts? If you were going to jump on the PC, you were going to run some missions, and Buddy Boy jumps in with their cell phone, you don't have any control over it, and things get a little complicated from there. What are your thoughts? Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. This is not meant to be a negative deal. This is just meant to be a let's think about this before we implement it, because like I said, crossplay is nothing but good, but we need to do it right. That way there's not so much conflict when this comes out. But thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for some new war stuff. Talk about that, talk about some speculation on, you know, the future of, like, even like Ballast stuff, Stalker, Hunt House stuff, maybe Mama Lotus future stuff. You never know. I'm really excited about that type of stuff. But and then yeah, we'll do some more quick looks, cosmetics, fashion frames, and stuff like that in the near future. I'm excited. I am going to have more free time coming up in the future because I have a new job that I will be starting here soon, and it gives me more time off, which is fantastic. So yeah, expect to see more videos, more creative stuff, some projects that I wanted to work on for a while, haven't gotten around to. Hopefully in the near future will start coming to fruition. We'll see you guys again in the next episode. Blah!